You just might sit here while we summarize because you might have some comments to make, but I just wanted to summarize the whole conference here in just 1 or 2 minutes. One is the past is not a prediction of the future. You've heard that on TV, but it does rhyme, as they say. So there are many lessons in 4 billion years of evolution that we've had that we need to remember as we move into the zone we're in. The second one is that we have to have both climate adaptation and climate mitigation to get back to a stable climate. We can't just do one. Mitigation is going to take 50 years or more to get us back to a carbon neutral state under the best possible conditions. So adaptation, that is adjusting to the world we have now and making smart choices about land development, about how we develop our cities, how we keep heat island effect down, how we keep the rate of change of temperature rise down so that the sea levels rise, but they don't wipe us out in the meantime. The Florida 18 million acres is such an important part, but it's not just for biodiversity preservation in the sense that we've been talking about it, it's our preservation, because it's the largest carbon sink we have that mitigates the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. 18 million acres that are sucking in that carbon every year. And we want to make sure that happens. If we pave it all over, it will not happen. So for many reasons, it's the diversity of science and what you said, Hillary, about the communications across all of the disciplines. There's so many smart people we have in the world, and in Sarasota we have so many. But it's the cross-disciplinary, the multidisciplinary, the ability to talk about the same thing, maybe with different language, but understanding the same basic facts. We're not inventing facts here. We're looking at what they are, and we're using climate models and other models. You've heard all about it in new technologies to better our position. Someone asked me at lunch, well, how do you know that the climate is changing due to human beings being on the planet? And the answer really is that when we finally got the models, the climate models that include the oceans and the biology of the earth and the land mass and the atmosphere and the whole thing into these climate models, we could run them backwards in time and create the climates that we used to have accurately. And then we could run them forward in time without putting the CO2 that mankind has put into the atmosphere. And guess what? The climate did not warm. It only warmed when we put human-induced greenhouse gases into the model. That's why I can't tell you for certainty that we're 100% certain of these forecasts, but I can tell you that FanDuel has a lower probability of success and poly markets than the information we have right now. If I were a betting person, and I've been known to do it, I would bet on these projections of the future because they are going to help us prepare for that future and give us a bridge back to a stable climate. Adaptation and mitigation. Bill Gates kind of got confused a few weeks ago. And I understand the point that we spent a lot on mitigation, but we haven't spent that much on climate adaptation with the technologies we have now that can slow the rate of change down so we have a bridge back to a stable future. So I just want to thank all of you for coming and for sitting through this whole day. I hope you found it interesting. I found it amazing. And one of the things I have to say, one of the most fun things for me personally, is I always feel like when I walk away from this, I'm engaged at a higher level. I'm more optimistic because I know more. But I learned just as much as anybody else in this room from having all these great speakers with different backgrounds here all together at the same time. So thanks again for being part of our climate conference, and we'll see you next year when we actually talk about the living laboratory and how artificial intelligence is changing weather forecasting and climate forecasting. So thank you so much and have a great evening.